Just gonna get started by saying, YouTube, what's going on? It's your boy Boda back in the building for another LC Pro podcast. I am joined with my legendary co-hosts. We got Tweacz.
What's up, fellas?
And TheKryptman.
What up? We're those UR co-hosts.
In the building, for sure, for facts. And, man, oh man, did we get the biggest collab bombshell dropped on us last night.
Bro, like, yesterday we were like, I don't know what we're going to talk about. And then today it's like, there's so much stuff to talk about.
So much stuff, dude.
It was pretty crazy how that worked out. Fun
Seriously.
fact, neither of you knew what Full Metal Alchemist was or had watched it?
So,
I mean, I know what it is.
Oh, okay.
But I have not, like, watched it.
Right.
yeah, I mean,
Specifically
I'm
Brotherhood.
I'm kind of
I
in the same
started
boat.
yesterday, and I'm on season 2, episode, like, 7 now, or whatever.
How are you liking it?
I'm very quickly picking up
Uh-huh.
what it is and what it is about. I'm not gonna lie, it is way more messed up than I anticipated. Like,
pretty
I knew the, like, really early stuff, like the episode 4 thing. If you know, you know. But I had no idea where the show went after that. And I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty quickly becoming like a top tier show for me.
Yep. If you like the dark kind of just mixed with badass action, dark kind of like
It's funny. It's so funny.
and humor, right? The humor's on point. And what was I going to say? Oh my god, I'm dropping the ball on the name. It's not Rage. Berserk. If you like dark kind of theme to it or dark aspects to it, it's got that. It's a really well done story.
Yeah, it was definitely surprised me. But I mean, like with all of the other anime that Last Cloudy has collabed with, aside from one, there's one that I wasn't able to like make it through. I watched like 2 episodes and I was like, this is not for me. But basically, all of the other ones that it has brought to my attention, I've greatly enjoyed. I also found out apparently there's a DMC.
There's a
anime.
DMC anime. Yeah, I learned.
I didn't know that existed. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
like Castlevania, apparently.
They're pretty iconic right there.
Yeah, for sure.
Did you
Oh,
did you start watching Tweacz? Because you sounded like you started getting familiar with it a little bit.
I have not at all.
Oh no, not at all.
No. I remember, I guess there's Full Metal Alchemist, like, way back, the first one that came out. When was that? Like, over a decade ago, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
celebrating
many
their
years
20th
ago, right?
anniversary.
Yeah, right. So I know I've watched it back then, but, like, not religiously. It just, like, I never got into it. So,
Well, I have zero knowledge about that one, the OG series.
right. I
Brotherhood
have zero
is-
knowledge at all.
Right.
I just remember the 2 characters, and I'm like, oh, I recognize them, but like, I
Yeah,
never
right.
really-
It's the short guy and the suit of armor. Like that's
Yeah.
those are the
Yeah,
characters.
exactly.
Exactly.
Yep,
But
100%.
that's how you know it's a big title, when you know zero info about what it is, but you know of the faces or the
You're still like
drawings.
culturally aware of it.
Exactly.
Right.
So that's why I'm excited, of course, right, as a YouTuber. I love the idea of more traffic to the game. But,
Oh, yeah.
Demos did raise some alarms because we still got some core issues with the game. I am a little worried that it's, we're going to get a whole bunch of people, and then a whole bunch of people are going to say, oh, this is not what I signed up for.
I mean, it's going to be
I hope that's
DMC
not the case.
2.0, right? Like or 4.0 or whatever, because there's twice as many people that enjoy this as we found out. People are going to come, and a bunch of them are going to stick around just for the collaboration. Most of them are probably going to leave after the first like 2 days, right? Like they'll log in and they'll be like, "Oh man, this is cool," and then they'll play it the next day, and then they will never play the game again. But
is
we'll get like
natural.
at least a handful of people who stick around.
Right.
We'll get at least a handful of new blood that I wasn't aware of this. Full Metal brought it to my attention, but I actually enjoy this game. And then like 3 months down the road, they will turn into toxic assets where they're angry and starting to discover things about the game. But such is life.
wrong.
Such is the life of a gacha game.
Tis true. So, did I miss something in the main LC Discord? Did Barlene jump in recently?
As recently as last night or 2 days ago.
No, not
No.
2 days ago. I saw you guys talk about alchemy magic, and then I saw another.
Oh no,
No,
we're just
no.
It's
we're
just
just goofing.
speculation.
We're just speculating. Yeah,
Gotcha.
That is pure speculation, and if that's a thing, we are very excited about it.
yeah, 100%. Because it's just like, hey, we need more collaboration magic.
Oh, yeah.
No kidding.
This gives them a
It's-
chance to make Science Magic 2.0, which is still the best magic in the game.
Right.
It is crazy how long that's stuck around as being the best magic.
Mhm.
Yeah, we're gonna have magic. We're gonna have science magic. We're gonna have alchemy magic, and then we're gonna make up a couple other kinds of magic and throw those in there too.
I'm
Be great.
down, honestly, though.
Yes, it's going to be very cool. I'm excited for all of the new little niche things that they're going to be introducing that we're not going to know if they're good or not until we flesh them out.
Right.
Especially on like the arcs, the new arc skills, and how they synergize with the rest of units' kits and where to use it, that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah.
That was like a huge part of the last collabs that we've had. ReZero especially, using a few skills on those arcs. DMC has some incredible arcs, some of the best arcs in the game. Dr. Stone was also some of the best arcs in the game. Like, the collabs always bring absolute fire. I mean, not all the units are going to be great, but all of the arcs.
We
stick
still
around,
don't
and
even know
always
how
find
many
use
of each
for
we're
them.
getting, right?
Right.
Like, it could be
Right.
5 characters or something, just absolutely insane. As we've seen in the past, if we get like 3 or more, we should probably get a free unit ticket, which is great. So people are really, really hoping for that like 3+ character
Right.
roster. But I mean, it could be anything. We could have 2, we could have 3, we could have 5, we could have 12. Who knows? But as with former collaborations, we will probably have the opportunity to like max out these units as well as get a couple prisms for them in their rewards.
Right.
That seems to have become one of the standards of the collaborations. I'm excited for that. That sounds great. Like, I want more characters to build. I literally am gonna run out of characters to level up probably tomorrow. I'm gonna have all of my characters at level 100 at least.
Nice.
So more characters, please.
Well, speaking of leveling up, should we get before I transition, for any new players stumbling upon this before the actual collab drops, like he mentioned, the prisms and the souls that are often very grindable, very easily farmable during these collabs for the collab units, please do not sleep on those. Like, don't think that, like, I would say try and turn on a little bit of sweaty grind to at least try and max out any collab characters you get with those respective farming things. Because
it's going to depend how they're available to us. It's going to depend on
Sure.
the energy costs and how much energy they make available.
Right.
But I mean, in DMC, if you were willing to, I mean, it was a pretty big grind, but I mean, you could get all of the souls for all of the characters pretty reasonably.
Yeah, definitely.
and the Dr. Stone
Dr.
rerun was
Stone
even
as well.
easier than that.
Dr. Stone
I would
especially.
say.
So
Yeah.
yes, we're expecting some grind. Absolutely, but I agree with you completely.
So
I'm
Do
for it.
not
I'm into it.
don't sleep on it.
Don't
Yeah, this
sleep
is like
on it.
whenever a collab's around, that should be like a huge portion of your attention should go straight to grinding that out, because they really do a really good job of making things accessible, but also being able to max things out and not waste your time later.
They're
Because
compressing
all right,
the passive grind. That would be like, I don't know. I looked at it at one point because you can get like 8 souls a day or whatever just through conquest, but it months and months and months of passive
200
grind.
days ish.
Right. Or like, weeks of semi-efficient auto grind, or like a week and a half of highly efficient auto grind. But, it's just compressing all of those to like days.
Yep.
So especially if you're somebody who cannot take advantage of the highest efficiency auto grinds, it is such high value to just go in there and get all those souls. And now you got to get 200 extra because each character is going to have a ward. Enjoy.
Right.
We don't necessarily know that yet. By the way.
I hope they don't drop 5 stars with these collab characters?
They're gonna be 5-star enhanced.
Okay, so I actually have a rebuttal to that. I've actually been told by a reputable source that they might not be 5-star because of the agreements based on the collab before we actually got 5-star enhanced released. Now, I don't know if that's completely 100% true, but I wouldn't say guarantee they're going to have 5-star enhanced at all.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. That is new information to me.
I hope they don't.
As much as I would assume they would, but I don't know if they will.
Yeah.
I feel like it's going to be really disappointing if they don't.
I'm the opposite. I feel like a modern 5-star enhancement is like the ultimate form of luxury, which I guess is appealing, to you guys and to a lot of end game players. But like, yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of in a middle ground with it.
Mm-hmm. I don't blame you.
My problem with that is well, go on. Sorry.
I mean, I could see them not, but we have already been told that even with collab and new summer units coming up, that Loxias is the top of the power curve. So,
right.
Even if we do get units during the collaboration that are going to be 5-star enhanceable, they're not going to be at Loxias level. So, with that said, whatever we get in the collab is going to be a lot of fun, even if they aren't 5-star enhanceable. They're going to be very good units. It's obviously they've done a very good job during like the state of the game and like keeping the power levels of the units that are introduced at that time pretty relevant. So we can assume that these units are going to be along those lines of even further better than stone units, better than DMC units. So, I mean, just keep in mind that even if they aren't 5-star enhanceable, they're probably just going to be awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm very, very, very excited. I remember in a live stream I did, I think one of my tower live streams, either I or someone threw out a Full Metal Alchemist collab, and it's just like, it's awesome that it's actually happening.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
A lot of people were like, no, that'll never happen.
Exactly. And here we are. So,
well,
yeah. I mean,
eat your words, eat them.
Yeah. Regardless of the specific speculations, it's hype. It's a hype title. It's going to bring
really
traffic to the game, which is just an exciting prospect altogether, all things considered.
Absolutely. And we'll know a lot more in like 3 or 4 days.
Yeah,
when they do the live stream.
I'm annoyed that I have to wait that long for details. Like, no. It's
all about
anxious.
The anticipation.
Yes,
it's all about the anticipation.
Too much for your boy.
It's good. It's good though. Like that is good marketing.
It is,
in my opinion, because it gives plenty of time for the word to get out there, and it gives all of us who have been like, because I mean, there hasn't been a ton of like exciting stuff on the horizon. We had the Treehouse or whatever it was, which I guess was last month. Treehouse. The last Claudia in the Treehouse is a Nintendo thing. But we had, the last Claudia in, and that was a lot of fun. I know you did a stream for it. I know that because I did a stream for it where we watched you doing your stream for it, which was super fun.
Yeah.
You're ridiculous.
So I'm sure something like that's going to happen again.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, it's nice to have something like right on the horizon. And honestly, I wish they would do that more. I wish we would get more of those, like the roadmap that we got a little while ago that was like, all right, here's the things that you can expect in, this month. And it didn't tell us everything, but it told us like kind of a general roadmap or like outline. And then they like drip fed us that content information as it became relevant, but we kind of knew what was coming. And I love that. I love having shit to look forward to. That just makes my day. I love dates.
Absolutely. It is very exciting. So look forward to all of that. We'll be covering it. And why don't we now transition into what is actually in the game? Where do you guys want to start? This new training dungeon is dope.
I mean, yeah, dude. So the issue with this training dungeon is a lot of people, I mean, me especially, like I don't have a use for the XP per se.
Sure.
Zero use.
Because all my units are level 100, but this training field, this nightmare stage right here, probably the most insane unit soul, mother soul, EXP grind we've ever had
Yep.
in the game. Easily the best. But the fact that you can do it 5 times a day, and it has a base EXP with one unit, right? So a base EXP of 300,000 experience. Multiply that by a unit that's going to be given the double EXP, like Lauxius. That's 600,000 EXP per quest. Now you got to multiply that by either EXP up, which is 20% bonus, or EXP up 2, which is a 35% bonus. I usually go with the 35. So that's 810,000 EXP per quest. But wait for it. Ready? 810,000. You can buy a booster, which I wouldn't suggest, but you can buy a booster for times 3 XP.
Yeah.
You can get 2.4 million XP per quest for a Lauxius. Now,
5
it
times
only,
a day.
it only, you can do this 5 times a day, right? That's about 12.5 million EXP if you do that 5 times. It only
More
costs
than enough to go from 1 to 1 day.
15.5 million to go from 0 to 100.
0 to 100, and then 8 million.
And then 8
100 to
million, so
110.
23 and a half. So it's going to take you literally about 10 runs to max out a unit at level 110. Again, that's if you buy the paid. If you don't buy the paid, it's going to take you 3 times as many. So it's going to be 30 runs, 6 days to max out a unit without doing anything else of doing this 5 times a day. 30 times. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, that's not bad at all.
That's so good. And I mean, the bigger aspect of why this is so good, dude, every single map you get 5 unit souls for a random party in the group. So a lot of us have already discussed, and you've discussed in your videos, about using 1 unit to, focus that soul drop. So you use 1 unit, use a strong support if they're really weak, and it's a pretty easy quest. So like, you're just gonna have the support do it for you, but you'll get those 5 unit souls directly for the unit that you're using. Same goes for the EXP. It's not going to split the EXP. It's going to go straight to that 1 unit. Well, the best part about this is if you steal from the final boss, specifically, you get 2 times the 10 mother souls. So you get 20 mother souls per quest.
Mm-hmm.
Which is like a day worth of being in Super Gold 1.
Which is crazy. And you can do this 5 times a day. That's 100 mother souls per day with 25 unit souls of that directed unit. For how long does this last? How long do we have this
6
here?
days.
For almost a week? For a week,
Yeah.
right? That's incredible.
If you got in this morning, I'm pretty sure it's either going to be 700 or 800 for the total duration.
So if you got in this morning, between like 4 hours we had after it reset or after it ended maintenance up until the reset, you could do this 5 times already, and then it reset at 4 hours after the maintenance ended. So you could do it essentially twice today.
Let me spotlight that, because that's actually a very consistent thing that happens after maintenances, for those who don't know. Mm-hmm. And something I forgot to take advantage of this morning, which really pissed me off.
Oh, so sad.
Yeah,
so sad.
Yeah. So after a maintenance, let's say for Eastern time, which Tweacz and I are in, after maintenance is done around 6, 7 a.m., half of our resets, because there's 2 resets in this game, it's very awkward, but one of them is at 11 a.m., and that is relevant to all of these event stages, training fields, grand gates, soul accumulation dungeons, things like that. If you get those done, because they have a daily amount that you can complete, if you get those done from maintenance to that 11 a.m. or whatever time zone that you're in, you can then complete them 1 round and then a second round in that same day. And that's every time there's a maintenance that ends before that event reset.
Right. And especially with a bonus like this, with how crazy the bonuses are for the training field nightmare, if you were able to do so, that's
exactly.
It's a phenomenal head start. That's 200 mother souls essentially in 4 hours with 50 unit souls.
Yeah, you would have been able to do that nightmare stage 10 times today in total. Luckily, I did it 9 times, but whatever. Anyway, with that out of the way, thank you.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So
It's
yeah,
pretty awesome.
it's a very
Lucrative.
nice, it's a
Highly
very
lucrative.
lucrative. I'm not going to say the B word. It's a lucrative stage. It's wonderful.
Sure, it sure is. It
we got
sure
that.
is.
So we covered that.
And now, not only that,
Oh, we're
it
not
does.
done.
For just doing this, there's a mission rewards and a trading space.
Right.
Like you're gonna want to do it regardless.
That caught me
So
off
like,
guard.
I
I was
think
a
I've done
little
it 10
disappointed by
times.
the trading space.
So me too. But like again, if you're doing this training event, it's for newer players, right? Like we're
Yeah, it's
not.
not for us. I get it.
We don't need that stuff. But what it does do, it gives you all these training awards. So the nightmare stage, it gives you 3,000 per, 3,000 per finish. So you're at least getting 15,000 per day. But this is a ton of materials with all the mother souls.
200.
Absolute
250.
crazy amount of mother souls, and then you get to a
20
few mega
and-
clusters.
Yeah.
I mean,
like,
mega clusters are relatively farmable nowadays. If you just do multiplayer, and you can get carried for those kinds of stages. So this isn't crazy. The real kicker is the mother souls and the base rewards. Like a new account is really going to need like the lower crystals, and especially these clusters. Like 10 clusters, like that's crazy. 20 clusters up here.
Clusters be raining from the sky these days.
Yeah, seriously.
And for us, and more so you guys than even me, but even for me to some extent, yes, like you said, Crypt, the trading space wasn't like super exciting in our eyes, but it's going to help so many players that are sitting in that early to mid game.
These
range.
especially. Whew,
It's
rainbow
gonna
crystals that
help.
people have like none of.
So
And the ability to convert stuff more freely is also a huge thing for new players. It used to be like, all right, I need a bunch of medium crystals. I'm out of medium crystals because it costs hundreds per character. I don't really reliably know how to get that. Man, it sure would be nice if I could break down these 30 clusters that I have.
Right? And you can do that now if you have a high enough alchemy level, obviously.
Grab what you need.
yes,
And that takes a little bit to build that up, but this is fantastic.
So
alchemy has become a integral part of building up your account.
It has.
But good for them. They finally did it. Like they finally made an external system that's worthwhile to interact with.
Yeah, we'll get into that alchemy lab for sure.
Sure.
But
sure.
yes, so for all of the early mid game level players that have been disappointed that most of these recent updates have been for more end game players, here you go. This is a beautiful stage for you to take advantage of, catch up on your account. Voila.
Yep.
Like
Essentially, yeah.
I've seen so many comments just saying like, "Oh, this sucks. Multiplayers, these new updates are just for end game. They're too difficult." Which I think I saw someone said was the majority of the feedback on that survey was that multiplayer.
Because there's been a ton of like early game stuff forever. This game has a ton of stuff to do if you just got into it, right? Like almost an overwhelming amount of stuff to do. There's story, there's training dungeons, there's events as they happen, there's mini games hidden in there, there's tons of subquests, there's gear to collect, there's characters, there's souls to get. It's so much stuff.
Right.
But once you've done a lot of that, because you've been playing for, I don't know, 630 days or something, it was a lot of just kind of sitting around. And now there's stuff to like actively use your orbs toward, and gear that's actually worth making and interesting. So I mean, really, it was needed. It was a needed infusion of like new stuff.
Absolutely.
Like hard stuff. And if it's too hard for you, maybe you shouldn't be doing it.
Yeah, well, then this game is just sadly not designed for you at a certain point. This is a slow-paced grind. You can't really pay your way to the top, which I think hurts the game to an extent from a gacha standpoint, in a certain way. But it's the reason I love the game, because it really is. It rewards you for the time and the effort that you put in.
And efficiency. Because it is such a long-term thing, as we say, it is a marathon, not a sprint. Being efficient pays dividends. Like getting the appropriate stuff early pays huge dividends. So like always getting your soul spots very first off, like getting those all maxed out even before you're interacting with like leveling up your arcs and teaching a bunch of skills, which might in the end up being superfluous. Having your soul spots leveled up will always be a boon. And the earlier you do it, the bigger the dividend. Same with like conquer spots. Same with, to some extent, tour spots. Although I will admit, I only ever got 3 of those. I don't really think 5 are needed.
Except for
I'm not
now.
a huge fan of. Well, I'm like 3 objectives from being done, right? With the whole thing. So that's another thing that, like, if you're willing to kind of patience it out a little bit more, you can save yourself a little bit of currency. But I mean, over the course of the months and months and months and months and months and year or whatever that I've only had 3 spots, if I had gotten those 2 other spots, I'd probably be done by now. And it would have cost me like 2,000 crystals or something like that.
Yeah.
So, trade-offs.
I do
I'm
appreciate
stingy
the 5
in
spots.
certain aspects.
Yep. So cool. Godforge.
I mean,
Or
so
what?
what's happened? I mean, we did our recording Tuesday of last week, so we've had essentially 2 updates since then.
That's true.
Now we had the whole dragon multiplayer boss in between. Then we've had the training expansion gotcha that's been happening, the free 30K gotcha for. I mean, I guess that's done now, right?
Ooh, yes. Well, yes.
We had
No, it's
we
still
had
up
that-
if you haven't ran through it.
rip.
you-
You did it to get Lily.
Hey, G Lily, let's go.
Yeah.
Yep. That's why it's not there on yours. 'Cause
That's
you
my
bought it.
girl. That's my girl. But yeah. So we've had all of that, and I mean, we've had so much influx of people coming into the Discord, I'm assuming your Discord as well,
Oh, dude.
asking, what am I supposed to do with this banner? And I hope people have been given the right advice and saying that while we also have this new banner of Emtheria's on there for 0.8%, sure. A 30K pity guarantee for the best unit in the game is
By far.
such high value for a new player, even a mid game player. Anyone that can scrounge up 30K that doesn't have Emtheria, that's like the go-to. That's like a goated banner in the history of this game is a 30K Emtheria for free crystals.
This is one of those times where if you have lucked yourself into playing the game right now, you can guarantee yourself the best character in the entire game, which is insane for a gacha game.
Yes.
Like, the value is astronomical.
The only situation in which the updated limited gacha, the 3-day, head start thing or
Yes.
whatever,
Yes.
that is absolutely insane if you're re-rolling.
Rerolling.
Oh
That
my
is
god,
the
dude.
craziest thing. Like, imagine re-rolling right now,
And
right?
pulling all 4
And
of them in one spin.
Well,
all
even
four in
that.
one spin, or even better, you go for just like the ultra nuts, right?
Lauxius.
You go and you pull Lauxius and you pull Lauxius, and then you pull SM Theria and like, I don't know, let's throw Lilibet in there
Shift
just
a little
for
bit,
fun.
yeah, sure. Why not?
Or Zekis or Alice.
Any
It
of
doesn't
them.
really matter.
Yeah.
And you've got like this account, like this is the winning account. This is going to carry you through story. This is going to carry you to like Super Gold 1 if you want to, if you give it the time.
If you give it the
It's
time.
just such a wacky time to start. Like,
It
it's
is.
especially if you're re-rolling.
Yes.
If you have the patience to re-roll for like specific units. Right now is just such an insane time.
It's crisp as well as that. Today, on last night especially, if you started re-rolling with the knowledge that the collab is coming next week, you can re-roll for those specific things and essentially like 6, 9, 12K, whatever, some kind of gems. But then you're gonna blow through the entire story for the next week, and you're gonna have like 100K gems just sitting there waiting for a collab.
You're gonna have a pity. You're gonna have a pity worth of
Like-
gems just ready.
Absolutely disgusting.
Like, if you want to make an alt because you feel like your account is lackluster right now, it is the time.
This
I
is
forgot
a
how much it
phenomenal
sucks
time.
to be early game.
I mean, as much as like I wanted to prove New Tomorrow wrong with like his ideology, this is one of those times where like the prime opportunity to start is now. It's still going to take you time to then bring your account up to par, by getting your soul spots, going through story, getting your arcs, because that's all RNG. But to start out with a on floor 10 rather than at the base.
Dude, the foundation that you would have.
Absolutely.
Insane.
Just unreasonable. Just an unreasonable.
Literally the top 2 units, the top unit in the game, M-Theria, essentially, and the top DPS in the entire game by a long mile in Lausius. That would be just the most disgusting. Yes.
And one of the even funnier things is, like, you're not only not punished for not having good equips in the beginning of the game if you're running Lausius, you are rewarded with a huge stat boost once he picks up God Armor. I can't remember if that's innate in his tree or not.
I don't know if it's I don't think it's innate. I think you get it later.
Oh yeah, it's innate.
Still.
Yeah, totally.
Oh, no.
It's one of the first 4.
No.
It's 100. It's totally one of the first 4.
Good God.
Just auto recast, just no big deal. With God Heal and God Armor. Like,
no big deal at all. Rewarded in every single way for starting with him.
He's disgusting.
And I mean, he is kind of expensive to build, but there's an event going on right now that gives just a crap ton of everything.
Yeah, dude, imagine starting with, I mean, not a Rainbow Potion per se, because I don't think you get one right now. No, but like I don't want to either. But you can see the value, obviously. It's a crazy time in Last Cloudy, because if you came to the game today and said, "Should I reroll right now?" Literally today, within the next, I don't know, couple days, so you have time to do a lot of story. Now is the perfect time to reroll.
For sure.
It's so good.
It's crazy because it feels like it's been like every new update, it's a better time to re-roll. Like,
which is kind of good, right?
Ever since New Year's.
Ever since New Year's, I mean, DMC was a great time to re-roll, right? We had, not the Valentine's event, I mean, even recent history, Second Annie with Kyle was a fantastic time to re-roll, especially Second Annie. Just the very start of Second Annie with 22 straight days of free multis for a new account.
Yeah, well, like,
incredible.
What was that?
And then with Baron's release, Baron was easily the top unit we had ever had to go through story. And to advance an account. And now we've had Lausius, which is the most powerful unit in the entire game.
Yeah, which I would still say Baron is going to be better for you more quickly on a new account.
Right. Sure. Yeah, absolutely. But both are incredible.
Yeah, like I'm trying to say, if you started and you got Baron and maybe you're not getting lucky on Lausius, don't feel bad.
Yeah, you're doing all right.
You are doing just fine. Lausius will be back.
We hope. But even with all that said, we're still having this conversation about this is the time to reroll, which is it's an incredible state of the game. I mean, being prepared for the next big collab and the incredible summer units that they have planned, I would assume they're not going to let us down on summer units. They didn't last year, they won't this year. We're going to have a really good next month, especially.
And this the collab stream is pretty much just going to be about the collab, if I understand correctly, because that's why they didn't tell us anything about it like last time, right? So they were like, no, it deserves its own thing.
I do think it's going to be part with the summer stuff. Yeah, they're going to reveal it there, or talk about it there. But it's going to be that's going to be a really nice live stream.
It's going to be an info dump for sure. Speaking of gotchas and re-rolling, just because I actually do have a question for you guys. This friend point gotcha. What is this? And
dump it all in there.
Okay.
So here's the thing. While we have this going, you get double the friend points for everyone. For any friends that you use, any of the friends on your list get triple the points. I believe you get 30 points for every friend you use once. So that's like 100. First of all, for any new players, max out your friend list to 100 as soon as you can. And I know it takes you have to buy like 50 slots, and the rest get done. And you get done through rank, but that's the first thing you should do, especially with this up right now, because the friend point rewards you get 30 for every friend that you use new per day, but every friend that's around your rank that you use, you get 10 points right now. Which, if you're auto running and you do 1,000 quests a day, that's a lot of points every single day that you get, as well as you get from accepting their friend Now mine looks stupid because I only have 2 friends, but I swear
Don't
you
use
should do it
Tweacz as an
because
example.
the thing about the friend points is this gacha right here, you can get literally anything in here, pretty much anything in here that's going to be part of the game. I'll do one right now. Let's see what I get. But you can get mega clusters. You can get all of these crystals. This is a crazy amount of crystals. I mean, I'm going to just do these just because I'm going to do it anyways.
Well, so
I only have 6,000.
So I've got 100,000 points. They
Right.
should all go into this.
100%.
Okay.
Now, if
I'm gonna do it
because
right
the
now.
other stuff is the 9-star, the only thing you should be buying from the friend shop necessarily is things you need and you can't farm very easily.
Right.
So if you're a new account and you feel like you want to spend 20,000 or so on like one of the Light of the Worlds or Foreign Lights to advance your character to 4-star, sure, great, go do that. But what you should be doing is dumping most of that into here because you can get pretty much all that stuff. I don't necessarily think the 6-star like Light of the Worlds you can get, but you can get clusters in here.
Mm-hmm.
All of these are huge for beginning players. All of these little these low tier items that you don't have to farm for. I mean, I've seen pictures of people getting mega clusters. Even this right here for a new player, 100,000 gold straight up.
That is true.
Like huge for new players.
Yeah, because
this is one of the times where you should not be saving friend points if you're a beginner-ish mid-game player, because this is so much resources that you could be having on your side for, even if you don't need it now, you will want that.
Yeah.
It like rains
I mean,
Mother
it looks-
Souls out of this thing.
Yeah,
for
Rain's
sure.
Mother Souls. Even if you get like even these enhancement materials,
that's hard to
these
get
especially
stuff.
clusters. Yeah,
That enhancement material is like level 100 grind stuff.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
it'll cut down the amount of hair pulling grinding
Yep.
that you'll need.
5-star, another 10 Mother Souls. Like
that is really
it's pretty amazing how good this is for
Alright.
a starting account. So thank you for pointing that out, because that is very, very nice for anyone playing right now that needs that needs resources.
That's what I'm.
And I've seen
Speaking of-
again, I've seen
Sorry, speaking of
screenshots of
reroll
people
stuff?
with like 3. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, just
Speaking
gotta
of
put a
reroll
mega
stuff,
cluster.
there's another added incentive in that there's a login bonus going on right now that the first day login is 3,000.
Yeah, it's still
So
up, right?
that's going to be another 10 pull on your on your
Training.
reroll.
I think that one just ended. No.
Nope.
Yes. That.
I just logged in on
Wow.
my reroller account and it just got it, and it hasn't been logged in like I don't know months. So it's definitely available to like new accounts right now.
Cool. Very nice.
Dope.
Oh, there's
Yeah.
another mega cluster. Wow. And it's weird because the mega clusters aren't in gold or red.
No, they're like blue.
They're blues.
Yeah, dude. They have done a really nice job of bringing this up. Like Rithik could literally, if he has 1 million points worth of
There's
friend points,
another
which
one.
I believe it.
I
it's
have
definitely possible.
960,000.
I have 0 because I spent mine at one point.
960,000.
Yeah, I had 1 million friend points before I removed all my friends. And the last time I spent any was just like today. I spent some just to roll on this a little bit, and the day that Lucius's banner dropped and all those new enhanced materials were in the shop, I bought a couple specific ones that I needed to like finish
Right.
out.
9-star ones probably. Yeah. Yep.
But yeah, I mean, Buddha, are you really surprised? Like, are you really surprised? Do you know how many Mother Souls I've got?
No, I'm not surprised. I'm not.
Right.
I'm not, no.
You know me.
Not
I
after
just
double thinking.
accumulate all of the resources and then I just sit on them.
Yeah. Which is
hang on.
great.
We can actually where are my Mother Souls? I gotta
It's first.
because I don't
world,
know
last
how many
quality
Mother Souls I've
problems.
got right now.
All right. Well, now that you say that, I'm just gonna do this because I don't have it.
Oh yeah,
so-
5,902 Mother Souls currently.
Wow.
This is all I have, so we're just gonna do it. I don't really care. Bye.
That's incredible. Well, this is wonderful. This is a wonderful pastime.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, he has a lot of.
This is
Mother
what
Souls.
accounts that have been grinding for, years look like.
Yeah.
Um
Oh no, I'm talking about spitting this friend point. Gotcha.
Oh, yeah.
no,
Also,
it's
yes.
incredible. It does take a while, but it's really, really good rewards for what it is.
Yeah, no kidding.
And normally friend points don't have like
God.
any purpose because there's just nothing really, especially for endgame accounts. There's nothing really in that.
Sure.
So there's
I
really
wish
nothing.
This was I wish they did this permanently. Oh my God.
Yeah, okay.
I would guess.
Update,
much.
friend
I'm
got
sorry.
to be this.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
My
That's so greedy.
That's dreaming.
my greed came
First of all,
out a little
if they
bit.
did this permanently, I would add 100 friends, and I would do this myself, like 100%. But to me, it's not necessarily worth
my
it.
God.
But
I've gotten 3 mega clusters in a row. This is not
Yeah.
okay.
hacks, bro.
I'm hacking the game. Yeah, because someone asked me this morning before I even got a chance to look at it, before I had any idea, and they're like, "Should I dump all my friend points?" I was like, "No, absolutely not." But the answer is yes.
Yeah, now go back and be like, retraction.
I'm so sorry.
Gotta update you on something real quick.
Pretty
Things
awesome.
have changed. New information has come to light, dude.
Man, I'm so happy I'm friends with you guys. Oh,
This is what we do, man. This is
it's great. Get the word out to the people.
this is the dream.
Sir. Where would you like to go from there? Because this is like
Dude, I'm just
this whole update today has been hot off the press.
Okay.
Everything in new account 1-1.
Okay, I do have a spot just so I can learn as well. Another teaching Buddha moment. Can
Sure.
we run an Ant Empress and you can break down what this boss fight looks like for me?
Yes.
Yeah, we could do that. All right, Crypt, I'm gonna bring 2 then. I'll start the party since I'm full on orbs.
Yeah, sure.
Let me bring. Should we go full DPS, or should we bring an Emtheria?
Okay, bring him Theria just because we're gonna try and explain the fight as it happens.
Okay,
right?
yeah, let's
So
do
we
that.
don't want to necessarily skip mechanics.
Is it?
We've gotten this
Um,
down to a smooth science
Okay.
at this point.
Oh yeah.
We've got
So what you're gonna do is you're gonna need to. You're gonna need to bring essentially your most powerful Loxaeus.
Yep,
You're gonna need to bring. You have Purple Orb and
I do.
Pirate's Feast on him. Sorry. Can you bring
Got
Beast
her.
Hunter?
I can bring Beast Hunter, yeah, of course.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna bring this, and we're going to have a nice little get together with our friends.
Wonderful.
we're going on a
Let me put
picnic,
some in
and these ants are trying to ruin our picnic. We have to kill them. They must be
Yes, sir.
murdered.
Yes, sir. Let me make sure it's high res.
All right.
Let's record.
And-
Sure.
We've got what's it called? Brute Slayer covers insect, yes?
It does.
Beautiful.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It does.
All
All right. Yeah. Let me run through and grab this. So the idea with this Godforged Dominion boss is it is going to be an insect slayer. You're going to need insect slayer to do substantial damage. Obviously, to all these bosses, you're going to want the appropriate slayer. This one's going to be insect.
Yeah,
So you'll see this on screen. Hopefully, no one else joins. But 103,451. If you
join, we can
join,
just
I
go.
will leave. Yep,
Yeah.
that's fine.
I will
I'm
leave.
coming.
So the reason I'm bringing this arc on Emtheria is because I would like to have the break last longer. Deimos, you're cut. Sorry, bro. We're gonna start before he joins.
Nice. 3 Loxius and 1 Tyria in
we
the bar.
Yeah,
so,
this is fun.
bro, watch what this looks like when we join. By the way,
Okay.
do you know that meme with the couch?
No, not off the top of my head.
You would know what we.
If you saw it, you would know.
It looks like this.
Yeah. This is fine. This is Spirit
yes,
Maiden
yes,
Theria
yes.
and her 3 dads have a picnic.
I absolutely know what you're talking about.
Yeah. You got it. You nailed it.
That was the basis of my joke as well. Yes.
Yes, 100%. So what we're doing right now is we're killing the first couple waves. Whatever, doesn't matter. You'll burn
Just like
through
all
them.
the other ones. These
Yeah,
have
just
2
doing the
waves
same
before.
stuff. We just get rid of them. What's going to happen in the final stage is that the boss is going to have 2 HP locks, one at 50% and then one at 10%. At both HP locks, it does this like it's called Fire Harvest. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
And it's essentially like RNG if it's going to do either little damage, 50% damage to your HP, or an insta kill.
Interesting.
So beautiful. Which I'm got cucked by it. So what we're doing now. These soldier ants are relatively easy to take care of, and they do respawn. So we're just gonna clear them out real quick with Pose of Glory and all that kind of stuff.
Am I getting close
we're-
to this thing? Oh, it's just dying.
Don't get close to this thing because if you get the
I'm
closer
gonna
you
walk
get,
up just so
you see that what happened? I just got marked by literally nothing, which is very offensive to me, honestly. But we're gonna go break it, and we're gonna see if we can nuke this thing because it's very annoying sometimes. I hope I don't die twice. All right, so we broke it. It's gonna have a little HP lock there at 50%, but we're gonna go do all the damage, and then we're gonna wait and break until we can damage it again, which is like right now.
Oh well.
And then
make it look like it's.
So the issue with this is those insta kill things are random. So
gotcha. So you can get unlucky.
Who it targets.
So who it targets is random. Even if you're in melee range, it essentially targets you more if you're in melee range. If you're up smacking the boss, it will target you first.
Gotcha.
But once you're dead, it targets literally anyone. So the fact that we were all standing back, it can target literally any of us, which is why I got nuked for no reason. What does work with this boss is we can run it again. What does work with this boss, it's instant kill, and that like RNG, that fire harvest thing is a physical or like a missable skill. Okay, why I say missable? You can use blind to your advantage to make it miss. And what does blind do? I'd have to be fact checked by that, but I'm pretty sure it has, for any physical hit, it has a 50% chance to miss. If you blind an enemy. This boss is innately weak to blind.
Interesting.
So it's at least a -1 to blind, which makes it incredibly susceptible to blind. Now, when we were doing our runs earlier, Crypt and I was bringing along a V that had blind research, that Ninja Star from I think the SOM collab that can cause blindness, as well as like the cell phone I think from the ReZero collab that can cause blindness, which you missed. But blind research is enough, and V is a fantastic status ailment spammer.
I've got low
with his auto attack, sure. And if you wanted to use, but melee range is probably not the best idea for anyone. Right. Dangerous, very dangerous. It's got some claws up in there. It lowers units accuracy. Yeah, fact checker. Thank you. So what's effective about this is you can literally sit there and we had this earlier happen. It was really funny. Crypt was autoing, and in the well, not autoing, but you were just in melee range of the boss, right? And he was kept getting tagged by this attack. Rithik, get out of here.
Oh my goodness.
Well played though. So what happened was he kept getting targeted by this, instant kill tech, and the boss just kept saying miss because he was blinded. Like you couldn't get any of the damage, nor 50%, nor instant kill because it just kept missing. Which, for survivability in this battle, RNG wise, it's huge for not having your units dead. You can be able to do damage. So we're not going to use that now, but I'll check its. Which I want to do this first. We'll check its innate resistance. We're just going to do that again. But my specific strategy for this, and Crypt is going along with it, because he has a very powerful Lelxius, is to essentially damage as much as you can to the first threshold, break it, then as soon as you can when you get to that threshold, and then have the Eternal Clock, which extends the break time by 30%, and kill the rest of it, including the last threshold which pauses for a few seconds, all of it in one break. So you don't have to deal with much of the garbage and instant kill spam.
Because the HP locks can expire while it is broken. So it can come out of an HP lock without coming out.
Oh, making me miss, dog. They made me miss.
So like perfect timing on this. Looks like.
See you, Buddha. I hope you brought a revive, by the way.
I don't remember if I have decoy.
It's okay. It's okay.
So
we're gonna do this.
For the speculation right now, at least as far as I have seen it, is that for about every 10% of its health that it loses, it does a fire harvest. See, okay, so that was a perfect one right there, where like a perfect exit from it, where as it came out of break, the HP lock expired, and so it died before it could act again, and that's what you want. Because if you don't do that, it's gonna go super ham with that fire harvest and try and kill all of you.
Yeah, like 10 plus times in a row, and it's all
Uh,
time stop. It's a time stop attack, and it's very, very annoying.
And it is
So,
survivable.
ooh,
though. Nice. You got a waffle.
I got a waffle. We call them waffles.
Yeah, I know they're supposed to be like honeycomb or whatever, but they totally just look like delicious waffles to me. So.
Oh, they're actually eyes, I think. But you know, what are you gonna do?
Oh, are they?
I believe so. Let me see.
I really haven't
Let
looked
me
super
see.
close at them.
So if
Yeah, Geist eyes.
Oh yeah, that's totally a compound eye.
Compound eyes. Yeah,
Interesting.
100%. But yeah, so I mean, that's the idea behind it. Now, most people
Ocular
aren't gonna have the DPS to do that. Right? We're using Big PP Logzius, who does an incredible amount of high cap and doyle damage. So literally four Logzius is going to be the perfect match for this map. Unfortunately, most people won't have that or friends to do so. So, like, actually, I should reiterate, 4 Logzius is literally the optimal for every single map.
pretty much everything in the whole game. It's dumb.
it is crazy.
It's incredible. Even with all these HP locks and stuff, you don't need strategy. You just literally have to nuke things. So like, yeah. So that's the Falmega. That's how we're going to be doing it.
All right.
If anyone wants to use that strategy, I'm more than advise you to do so. Find some friends, nuke it. Try to use some breaker. I mean, we're using the UR arcs, which multiplies our breaks. So like, we're not using necessarily breaker arcs, but yeah, man, this is the way to do it quickly, optimally. But I'm glad you could have us do that on.
Yeah,
you
on
know,
camera.
on
I'm gonna
video.
watch it back a couple times because it's kinda confusing.
The idea, I mean,
It's all a timing thing.
the specific strategy is skill stocks on your units. We're doing the S2 to clear out the ants, and then while poses work real now, you essentially kill one with an S2, you get all the SCT back. And then use the S2s on the boss to get his health near 50%, and then go in with your S3, and because that's his best break skill, but it also puts you in danger of being in melee territory. Use your S3, which persists if you activate it, to try to break, and then kill him the rest of the way. But and the idea is, where the arcs we're using, God of Ruin, increases the break value by 50% for literally everyone on the team. And then was the Eternal Clark, and I saw someone in chat being like, what does it do? So this right here, enemy break recovery speed 30%, that essentially means enemy break recovery speed, minus 30% or plus 30%, whatever way you want to look at it, but it extends the break time that the bosses in break by 30%.
Like Kyle.
Which can sometimes be the difference between you killing the boss or it coming back in life and then having a
Eating
10
your
shot
face.
of his insta kill, right?
Eating your whole face.
So yeah.
Goodness.
But yeah, it's actually one of the tougher battles because of that insta kill. It can literally just keep doing it, and I think it activates them at its thresholds. So I don't know if it just continues to keep doing it. If you have enough revives and you have a unit that can res everyone back, such as like Emtheria, her special, you can survive quite a bit. But the RNG of it, blind, if you're not able to nuke, blind is a godsend in this. I strongly recommend everyone to run, if you have it, that cell phone accessory, if you've been playing since ReZero, or put on blind research on maybe some of your units, because if you're not having the skill uptime that we have, definitely put on some blind research, because it's going to help your survivability a ton.
Mm-hmm. Blinding and revives.
Yeah, blinding, revives.
And then you need the damage.
Support it if you need, but you need the damage, right?
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, you need the damage, which
So,
Logzius.
now that, right, just for everything, Laxies. So now that all 3 of these fights are out, in your opinions, which like best to worst, or even just like favorite to least favorite, where do you stand?
Kraken's my least favorite. I think it's because it's so forced in the nukes that it tries to do, and if you don't have a proper support setup, it is just very annoying. My favorite is the dragon, because it's literally no HP locks. Obviously,
Yeah,
there's no chance that's not going to be the best, because the no HP locks is absolute fire. And this is probably the second this is probably right in the middle. It was really, really bad at first because it was really funny earlier today when I was trying to get these compound eyes to upgrade Kagetsuchi. And I wasn't running with anyone from Discord, didn't hit up anyone. I was just running with randoms. And it was just so funny because I figured out the mechanics pretty quickly, right? And I'm like, oh, hey, why am I getting attacked when I'm meleeing, right? Why don't I just stand back here and see what happens? Well, what happened was I could just use my S2s and it wouldn't attack me while the 3 randoms were running in and getting absolutely suiciding themselves against Falmega herself. So,
you know, like randoms do.
Goodness.
yes, right. And it was just very funny because I had many, many lobbies where I was literally the only one alive.
Yeah.
So it was just really funny earlier today. And then, I mean, if people started figuring out how to like not die. And I saw a lot of lousies just chilling back, using their S2. Me and the boys hanging back, using their S2s and damaging because you're the closer you are to them, you're the more likely you are to get hit with that insta kill. So
Yeah,
I don't know. It was just a fun little experience of people just like, how do I beat this again?
Yeah.
Like, this is not fun. But yeah.
Which
So those
is
are
cool.
the tips for it.
It's cool that each one of these new bosses has introduced a factor that you have to actually pay attention.
Yeah, mechanics.
Mechanics.
They have mechanics.
Right.
And if you know how to skip them, you can skip some of the mechanics,
Sure.
but they do exist.
Yeah.
I'd have to concur with your ratings there, being like Kraken's the least fun. However, Kraken is one of the most interesting because it does that cool like the stage switch thing.
stage
Is really
change.
I do wish we had that in the other stages too, though.
Mhm.
Like an HP threshold that actually does something to the stage, instead of just being like a random HP lock.
It's very
Yeah.
nice.
That's probably
That's
one of the
really
cool
cool.
things.
It's a very nice touch.
I think design-wise, just because I've seen it before, the dragon wasn't super interesting. The Kraken is really neat, but I really love the design for the Ant Queen.
Yeah.
I think
Dude,
it's one of the most
it's-
interesting
yeah, I
and
mean-
unique enemies we've seen.
If you just take the time. I know in multiplayer you can't really pause, but if you just take the time to look at how cool the art is on that thing,
Oh, she's
it's
so
literally
cool.
just chilling, holding with like a skull staff, and it's like
Yeah.
actually a
got a
sweet
little
unit.
hand.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, it's so dope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big fan of the art direction for that one. So excellent job to them on that.
Yeah, they killed
Yep.
it. There's no doubt about that.
Just gonna point out real quick. I think Rithik said it in chat, which is a very good point. I think we're trying to push for it to Barleen and to, because there are so many HP locks in the game right now. For this is their like new niche thing that their new toy they're having fun with, right? Is putting HP locks on things. Having an indicator on a boss that is in a current HP lock, or like of around what HP it's going to happen, so people don't just waste. All right, I see that. I'm gonna put it back up. So people don't just waste all their skills when they know they can't be damaged. Having an indicator like that is going to be very important, and I think that they definitely need to look into that. Aegis themselves.
That would be great.
Yeah,
Yeah, just more areas where they can tell us what's going on, and rather than it be pure speculation, rather than it be.
I mean, you know that's part of the design philosophy, though.
Yeah,
They
unfortunately.
have said exactly as much as that is part of the game design, like the game's philosophy is like, we're not going to tell you everything. We want things to be obfuscated and vague, so that you have to like test them and all that. And it's like, I get that, right? I totally understand the allure of like wanting a game to have some sort of mystery to it, right? But we exist in a time when the gamification and the meta gaming of like collecting and sharing knowledge is a big thing. And to intentionally kind of make that harder kind of sucks. Kind of sucks a little bit.
Well, yeah,
so
but
hopefully
I
they
think-
change that.
I think adding a visual representation that tells you the enemies in an HP lock, that is a nice marriage between giving us a little more info, but also you need to pay attention to what's going on. You got to look for that. And then when it happens, if it's your first time seeing it, you're like, oh, what's going on? Then you notice the HP's not dropping, and you say, oh, okay, you start making that connection. But just for like the HP to stop, and like we brought up in the past, in multiplayer especially, where you're already facing lag, and you just think,
it just
oh,
looks like
it's
lag.
frozen, so
Yep.
I'm just going to burst all my skills. No.
Yeah. and then it'll be dead when it comes back up, and then it starts moving again and kills
Right.
you, and you have no skills, and you're real
Yes.
confused.
So like there is in everything. It's finding that balance that
Mhm.
tastes the
I,
best.
I actually wanted to ask you guys something. So maybe your thoughts on this. So I'm gonna look real quick regarding known issues. Right.
Oh, okay. This is new.
And deep diving into the bugs.
I was hoping to not see this. So this second thing right here in multiplayer, an unexpectedly large amount of SCT is restored by skills that restore SCT when you defeat an enemy.
See, but that's
That-
not what it is. That's not what the issue is. The issue is anything that procs like that. It's HP.
It's not. Yeah.
Special. It's SCT. It's MP. It's everything. They're
Anything
once
that
again-
procs on kill.
They're once again seeing the problem, like with Goroth. They saw the problem, and they superficially fixed it, but they didn't fix the root cause. They fixed the symptoms, not the actual cause of it. And I, we can only speculate as to why that is. I hate to say incompetence, because I know literally nothing about any of it, and all of these people are far, far more qualified to do what they are doing than I ever would be. But it just feels kind of weird, right, to have them continuously misidentify that specific issue.
So here's the thing. What goes on this, right? So what we're talking about is essentially pose of glory skills restoring a ton more than they should be in multiplayer, whether it be SCT, HP, MP, when you kill a unit or kill an enemy, which makes it multiplayer actually nice because we have skills. And honestly, I was hoping to not find this in here and was hoping that it would be not necessarily so an exploit that would be a feature, right? So there's always
Feature, not a
bugs,
bug.
but bugs that stay is essentially a feature now, and that's what I was kind of hoping was happening because I don't know about you guys, but I'm enjoying multiplayer. The fact that I'm not strapped for skills, like it doesn't have to take 5 minutes for an entire battle; it can take 30 seconds instead. And I mean, Pirate's Feast helps a lot, sure, but even in that final battle, like spamming S2s and getting your SCT right back so you have more stuff, like that's an enjoyable experience. As terrible as multiplayer can be sometimes for a lot of the community that plays it, having that there to make it a little easier to get through the stage with the lag, I think that's a big help. So I'm hoping that they don't fix that anytime soon.
Did either of you ever play much like League of Legends?
I
No,
did
sir.
not. No.
No, sir.
Okay. So I'm not a big League player. I played years and years and years ago and haven't since then. Probably, I don't know, 6 years or something like that. But just talking to people over the course of time and like having played it kind of on and off for years, there is a game mode called Ultra Rapid Fire, where none of your skills have cooldowns. And this
That
is
sounds like so much
effectively
fun.
yeah, this is effectively the ultra rapid fire version of Last Claudia that we're experiencing. And that in my mind is a really cool thing. Like, give us more themed dungeons like that, where it's not environmental effects that are negative,
Right.
but environmental effects that are positive, right?
Yes.
Like essentially giving physical DPS unlimited skills, or giving sorry, I'm laughing at unlimited skills. Giving, mages.
wonder why.
You know why I'm laughing. Giving mages like unlimited MP or like half cast time, or something like that. But then coupling that with a very difficult fight that utilizes those mechanics. That's the kind of thing that I would like to see for in game in this. Is not only like new fights or whatever, but like genuinely new mechanics introduced into the game. Is something that I feel it could use, and they're getting closer to it for sure.
Yeah, just like
these boss fights have definitely been a step in the right direction.
Yeah,
in my
Yep.
opinion.
they just
I'd
need to-
agree.
they would just have to throw G Luke's ultimate charge time on every single unit.
Yeah, right.
And then
or like
there you go.
Vaughn when something is in break and he's just going Super Saiyan and has like 400% SCT recovery or
Yeah,
whatever
right.
it is.
I've only read that. I've never
Insanity.
experienced it.
Yeah, that was it was kind
It's
of a
not that-
long time ago thing, and it's
Yeah,
really
it's
not
not
that
that
great
crazy now,
compared
but
to modern.
It was
stuff.
cool then. It was definitely cool then.
Oh, I bet.
But
Yeah,
yeah.
they could definitely take something that is on the surface level a negative because it's a bug, it's something that's not working correctly, and they could absolutely turn that into a positive. with those suggestions. That would be some smart plays, but yeah,
We'll see where it goes.
We'll see what happens with that. We'll see how.
And I mean,
close they
like
are
bringing
with us.
stuff like that up to them in the Q&A. You know, I've on several occasions asked like, "Hey, well, what about an in-game mode like this?" Or what about whatever. And you always get the, "Oh, well, thanks for the we'll consider
We'll
it.
write that
We're
down."
looking at it." But those are things that might not occur to them otherwise. And even if it's just to get it out there, right? Even if it's just to throw it out into the universe and hope it manifests somehow, it's better than not trying at all.
Sure.
Because if you don't say anything about these ideas that you have, they are never going to hear them.
That is true.
They're not going to psychic their way into your brain and figure out what you want. So those, I still feel like that's a really good resource. I know a lot of the time it feels like a big old nothing burger, and then like a couple days later, Barlene will come out and answer some of the more pointed questions that we asked. But I think even if it's not visible, that's a super important influx of input directly to the people who are responsible for the things we want changed.
Absolutely.
So, shit on the Q&A if you want to, but I still feel like it's a valuable resource, and it's a lot of effort they put into it that they don't have to. They don't have to be doing that at all.
Never.
They can just be like 9 million other developers that are completely silent until they have a big announcement or a live stream or whatever. So just reiterating on my appreciation for their interaction with the community. Sometimes it doesn't feel like much, but
I would never say that I'd rather that not be a thing than it occurring.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, like I've definitely.
A lot of people just get disillusioned. Like they don't seem to understand what that's for. They expect that we should be getting like game-changing news and like just all sorts of really important stuff, or completely nothing. Like, what do you like to eat for lunch? It's like,
oh my god,
don't do that.
Yeah,
don't do that.
I'm not like, who are your favorite characters? It's like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Next.
I mean, that's at least like game related, right? Like, who would you like to see get more love or whatever? Like, that's something that can be tied to mechanics. But like, don't ask them about like real life stuff. Like, that's not what they're there for. This is not an AMA.
But isn't that how you got the Shibui?
Yes.
Didn't someone ask about the stock?
Yeah. That was well. I'm pretty sure.
No, Damus says no.
Made that.
Yeah.
But I mean, that was somebody asked. It might have been me. I don't know who it was. Somebody asked something about that, and it got brought up. So yes, it created a meme. But like, is that really what we should be using our time in the Q&A for?
No. No.
Cool. Well,
it does show that they're willing to like connect over stuff that's not game related, which is kind of neat. But
hey, hey Buddha,
yo,
would you I know we've talked about a lot of spicy stuff already, but would you like to talk about, in my regard, is the spiciest thing that came out of this update?
I thought we were done.
Something muy caliente?
No.
Oh my
There's
god!
more stuff.
How could I forget? Oh,
you couldn't, dude.
Good lord.
I mean, listen.
Okay.
The first week, right? First week, 2 awesome Eclipse came out. Muramasa Pureblade and the whatever Fantasia cape, Fantasia robe or whatever. Phenomenal items. Last week, kind of meh. Claw. What else do we have?
Axe.
Axe, and what was the last one?
Armor.
Oh, that armor. 7-star armor. Straight. Awesome.
The armor
Very
was
cool.
actually very good. Yeah.
The armor is very good. I will give it that. But dude,
this week
this Godforge release, which I mean, we had to assume they were going to release more just because combination of materials and all that kind of stuff. They had more to work with. Right now that all 3 are released, they can finally get the rest of the Godforge stuff out that they have in this specific like little batch. The alchemy stuff in this update is just some of the best items that we've ever had. The fact that they have now given us a new tier of item. So we've had 7 stars, which are AERs from URs, those Lord Sword, and now a bunch of the alchemy stuff from the Godforge, but we now have 8-star items. One of those being, in combination, a UR AER as used as in the recipe, which is the Godblade Kagetsuchi, which at max is going to have over 400 strength by itself, 5% crit rate, and when it's upgraded fully at plus 40, it's going to have plus 25% fire physical attack damage, which is, I mean, yes, it's specifically fire damage, so it's not going to help everyone, but kind of incredible.
Kyle loves that.
I mean, we're going to have new
another
units
fire
that
physical
love it.
DPS. They'll love that.
Don't forget
100%.
BB Shin.
BB Shin, yeah.
Stop
I forgot he exists.
But yeah, dude, we have that. My favorite update. So we have all these Arcanospheres, all this tower equipment that gets getting updated. We have a fantastic hammer, Glorm's Gleaming Hammer with a crit rate and physical attack damage. We have actually a good bow now.
Good bow.
Which is literally 282 strength. So we're gonna have over 320 strength whenever you get to the final stage. It's gonna have a crit rate of 8% at plus 40, but it has slayers automatically on it.
That's pretty dope.
For beasts, birds, and fish.
Now,
which is essentially tasty, right? But
yes.
3 slayers on it.
Still, anything that comes with slayers without needing to spend 8 to 9 SC is pretty cool.
It's pretty incredible.
What, 8 times 3? That's a lot of SC save for that.
Yeah, for just a weapon.
Yeah.
And now, I mean, this uses. Slayer. We've always wanted a good bow. The only good bow we've had has been the Star-Lord bow, essentially. And so, like this being another option, people are pumped.
Yeah.
Whether we get bow high boost or not, people are still looking for that. But I don't know. The fact that we have an actual
come on a UR, I guarantee it.
An actual usable bow. It's going to be amazing. These are awesome. The most exciting thing that I'm excited for is this armor.
Dude.
That armor's wacky good.
So
that armor's too good.
Dude.
What happens here? Who does this work for? Nightlord Kyle. Dude, 650 HP multiplied into all the HP ups because you want him to have max HP, right?
Yeah.
328, so arguably 368 defense at plus 40.
Yeah.
217 mine, sure, great, fantastic. We don't know the amount of allure stacks it's going to be on it. I would assume it's at least +1, if not. I mean, it's going to be +1 at least, but if it's higher than that, amazing,
even better.
But what happens at what happens at plus 40? Okay, if you get this to max level plus 40, 8-star equipment, is the physical damage taken goes from -10% to -20% on just an item, just a straight up -20% all physical damage on a single armor. Now, what's this good for? Arena.
Like,
so good for arena.
Plus HP, plus defense, 360 defense.
Where people use armor.
And guess what? Not only that, but it has the chance to nullify physical damage. Now, what does that mean? You know how units like Alice, like Gen, have a chance to nullify physical damage, set it to 0? This is essentially that, but on an item. Now, I don't know if the chances are still the same. We're going to have to get that information from either Jabberwock or Lake. But that's something that's not on any other piece of equipment. Any good piece of equipment, right? It's sometimes on like a random piece of equipment that's like everything else is bad. But this is the best armor in the entire game, added on to having a chance to nullify physical damage.
It has a
this is the while Kagetsuchi is cool and a little bit of a flex item. Sure, you don't really need it for most people. It's not like versatile, unusable on anyone. This is quite possibly the best armor we've ever had.
This is
the best armor we've ever had.
An arena. I was so tunnel vision to thinking of armor and Ruto, right? And I was like, this is still magnificent for him, but on Kyle?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Because he synergizes so well with all these units, and he just, because of his barrier, makes the whole team just that much more bulkier. Yeah, dude. This is an incredible, and they've literally just buffed.
And notice what it takes
by giving
to make
him
that.
this. Oh yeah,
notice
not bad.
Nothing crazy.
The third
yes
material is the God Sphere that takes the rest of them all put into it together. The only other item that takes that, I think, is Kagetsuchi. Right?
Kagetsuchi. So the 8-star materials are going to take these. essentially what I'm calling them is super god spheres. This is called a celestial jewel god sphere. It's a 8-star item.
It's my new favorite
but you
rapper,
use
TJ Godsphere.
you use 2 of the each of these emerald god spheres. This is from the Kraken boss. This is from the Dragon boss. This is from the Insect boss. And you have to use 6 of those apparently to make one of those. And I did mine already because I do have Kagetsuchi upgraded. But I can only imagine the cost of upgrading this to plus 40 and how many of those we're actually going to have to use. Because if anyone's gone through the quest of upgrading any of the Godforge equipments already, making it is one thing. Upgrading it to plus 40 is a whole different animal. It's like 3 or 4 times the amount of God spheres that you need when you craft it. So if you need 4 plus God spheres to finish out Kagetsuchi and the armor to plus 40 to get that extra bonus, that is so much grinding.
That's
ridiculous. We grinded MP bosses forever.
Right. This is like something that's meant to last a while. And while personally, I try to rush this stuff because I just love doing this. Is like my kind of shit, right?
For you.
This is what I thrive for in this kind of game. It's supposed to take a while. Like you're not meant to get these the first week
buy
they're
your
out.
way to it.
No, and you
can't get all of the pieces all at the same time. Like there will be days when you cannot get the stuff to make a red god sphere, or you will not be able to make a green god sphere. You know, whatever. Right. So you really kind of have to plan out your grind for this, or you can just do it extremely passively over the course of time. So do 2 or 3 here, 2 or 3 there,
enjoy
and then in a month
journey.
You'll just have the stuff to at least make one of the things.
Well, yeah, I'm gonna be going for that armor though. Oh my god,
100%. It's, and
I will also note about that it is extremely nice that there is an 8-star equipment available that does not take a UR item to make.
Right.
Although you get it both ways.
I don't
big fan.
So I know gold armor you get from the Gourd War. I don't know that other one.
And then that's another plug. That's just something you'll have to find on Lace Goldmine site, right? What I was going to say before was that Lace Goldmine site he's going to update the equips with all this new stuff. So you'll be able to tell what the difference is between level 0 to level 40 in Enhance. So all that stuff I talked about before about changing from -10 to -20% physical damage taken, all that kind of stuff, that will be on his site. That's not just information that you need to keep on hand. As is with all of these equipments that are found in the Godforge, every single one of them has an additional boost to their passive effects at plus 40. Just like Muramasa, Pure Blade Muramasa went from 20% physical damage to 25% at plus 40. Just like the Fantasia Cape went from 20 to 25% magical damage at plus 40. These will all have an increase to their stats. Just like I was talking about, Experian is plus 5, but at plus 40 it goes to plus 8%. Stuff like that. So they all get improved. Now, whether it's worth it is up to you, but if you're going to go for the long haul, you love the equipment, it's for your favorite unit, you're going to be wanting to do the plus 40 because it does make it worth it. It's not only a substantial amount of stats that get multiplied into all of your base attack ups, int ups, mind ups, all like defense ups, all that kind of stuff. They actually get better with their passive effects, which is very, very cool.
And the blueprint for that was kind of the event equipment we saw, where once it hit plus 30 or plus 40, it picked up additional traits. And that because that was something that I really wanted. I was like, oh, that's such a good idea. It's really a shame that there's not regular equipment with that same kind of deal. But there is now. And I mean, don't be mistaken into thinking that if you can't max one of these things out, they're not worth making. Even at base, they are some of the best equipment in the game.
Easily.
Pure Blade is 20% physical damage right out the box. The first time, like fresh, shiny, freshly crafted, immediately 20% physical bonus damage, which is leagues beyond nearly anything else we've seen. And then if you want to go that extra mile and pick up the extra, 5% damage and 40 stats, also worthwhile. But the biggest payout is just getting them crafted in the first place.
Yep. Absolutely.
Which is great.
And fun fact.
And they use a bunch of useless equipment to make them.
Speaking of
Seriously.
useless equipment, that Rose Orden armor that I didn't know, it is found in the Port Liddell shop. That's where the main island connects to the Arctic little
Hmm.
area.
Why don't I just
So
go there? If you
go
since
ahead
you're
and put a
listen,
visual.
if you're hyping up this armor, dude, people are gonna want to know.
Fort
Honestly,
Liddell,
I am so
famously
excited.
founded by Chuck Liddell.
All right, I'm not finding it because I'm stupid. It's fine.
There
Here
you
we
go.
go.
That's it.
There it is. 26,000. That's it.
26,000 gold.
To combine it itself into one of the best items in the entire game.
It's
Now
also
to
much,
check.
much lower cost to upgrade the real low rarity
Yep.
items.
Mhm.
That's always nice.
Mhm.
Because initially I
I
was like, oh man, it's gonna cost so much to do plus 40 on this, and it's gonna fail so many times, and the low level stuff also doesn't have a chance to fail, which is great.
so I will say, as an aside to that, upgrading these. So in order to use the God Forge, which I think people have figured out already, you need to have these at plus 40.
Yeah.
Which to go along with that, that's its own adventure in itself. But the issue with that being, and even I just stumbled upon this, which I did not know was a thing. I ran out of resources to upgrade all of them. So that's why you see in my Godforge Alchemy, I don't have everything at plus 40 because I ran out of stones to use on them. So these right here. Where do you get these? So, yes, Tweacz ran out of resources. Crazy, I know, right?
Unheard of.
Where do you get these? Unfortunately, they're not farmable in world stages. But what you're going to need how you're going to need to get these is from tours, especially. So get up to date on your tours. Start running those all over the place. Try to push through those because at the higher tour nodes, they give an absolute ton of these. Not only that, whenever they have the the enhancement material dungeons that we have,
Yeah,
don't
gear field or whatever it is.
don't sleep on it. Do these, steal from those, get all of these shards because I had over 3,000 of these this morning, which I don't know if that's a lot. I wasn't really concentrating on it. I never used
That's a lot.
alchemy, so
That's a
like,
lot.
It is
yeah,
a lot.
I never used alchemy, so like I wasn't concentrating on getting more of these. But now that I have spent them all and I can't do everything, I wish that I had concentrated on it a little more because they went quick.
They
Especially,
dropped.
I mean, I did upgrade Kagetsuchi so to plus 40, which is a 7-star equipment. I'm pretty sure that ate a good chunk of them,
Yeah.
but I ran out, and which was very, very surprising to me because I'm sitting here on 1,100 rainbow clusters. Like I don't think and like a ton of other stuff. I wasn't expecting to run out on of anything ever, but that happened. So
That's a real thing. That happened.
which is crazy, which is so funny because Barlene had it out for me.
They know. They
know.
look at your inventory to decide what the next useful material is going to be. It's like, all right, what does Tweacz have the least of? Open it up, peek inside, and see what we got. Which is why we needed magic books and not. Well, I guess we also needed skill books. But just finding those little things that you need.
Yeah, it's really funny.
Yeah, I figured that eventually the alchemy stuff was going to be useful, so I've very passively been accruing those things for a long time.
Right.
And the last tour, Gourd Mine, gives a ton
Oh my
of
god,
those
dude. Here,
resources,
I'll do a fast tour real quick. So
but
we're
it's on
Gold
a
Mine. I haven't finished
20-hour
it yet.
timer.
20
I'm on a 20-hour
hour.
timer, but I'll see. Let's see how much we can get. So this is the final tour spot. I guess we can do 3, whatever.
Yeah, 29.
See if we get some success. This is a little baby success. I'll run a couple. But even then,
But I mean, even just that, yeah. And those are the top tier
and I
ones.
need
Those are
those
the even harder
sacred
ones.
gems. Yeah.
and we have a plethora of those. It's the issue of the art. Wait, can we break these down or no?
I don't know.
All right. Well, I'm gonna do another tour real quick. Well, gotta switch arcs. Hold on.
I don't think you can convert those, but you never know. I don't really look at alchemy that hard.
Okay. We're gonna run through this real quick because we're gonna see if we can get like an actual success.
You went down.
Oh, did I get ripped? I got ripped. Huh?
You did.
All right, coming back. We back.
And obviously, there's higher multipliers on your your loot drops and your XP and your AP from these things if you get a great or grand success.
Yeah, I just want to see if there's
suitability
really quick.
for the tour, which is just like specific things like it's often unit types or being a certain level or being resistant to a certain status ailment or a certain elemental defense.
All right.
Yeah. Got
Regardless,
a nice little guide on YouTube.
I got a couple, but no. So the great success and the grand success drop a plethora of these, right? Like there's like 3 or 4 rows of stuff when you ever get a grand success. So these are relatively common there. And the 5-star materials are very, very common there. So like, yes, you want to progress your tours. You do want to unlock those to get them done faster because tours are now one of your main sources of these. Without the gear field being present all the time.
So it's also worth noting that they are currently in the friend point gacha.
Yes.
So that's another one of the things that you can get from that friend point gacha. Just another reason that you should be dedicating friend points to that.
I agree.
Very cool.
This was a sweet update. I'll be honest with you. I was not dude. We literally talked about this last night, 2 days ago. 2 days ago,
yeah.
Right? And we're like, what's going to happen in this update? Like, what are we going to talk about? There is so much cool shit that just happened in this update.
There's so much cool shit that we just talked for an hour and a half about it.
And there's so much cool shit that's going to be happening in the next week, in this following month. Like, my goodness. It's a very exciting time in this game right now, especially to start out. Even if you're an endgame player, there's stuff to do. Like, they're just starting to fill out the tasks that you need to do to complete the game. By completing the game, I mean like this is a JRPG, right? Even if you complete the whole story mode and beat every battle, there's still stuff you should be wanting to do, like upgrade your units or do the alchemy lab.
All weapons, all the like world bosses and stuff. It's very reminiscent of like a Final Fantasy VII, right? Like we beat the boss, we did it, we killed Sephiroth. Okay, well now we can go kill Emerald Weapon and Ruby Weapon and Ultima Weapon and all the optional bosses. It's very much got that vibe to me. And I know you can't do that stuff after you kill Sephiroth. I know you have to go do it first because the game ends when you kill him. But
spoiler alert, dude.
Yeah, that game's only been out for like literally 20 years.
I've never.
If that was a spoiler and a surprise to you, I don't know what to tell you.
I never fell into the Final Fantasy wave, and I regret it. I say that I feel less of a gamer because of it.
I mean, it's an important franchise, and it's been around for practically forever now. And it's actually a really cool franchise, and they always do something new. Like they always try something new with their games. Because once they found like the success from 3 or 6 or whatever it is, wherever you live in the world, they could have just done that over and over. But instead, they were like, "Nah, we're gonna do all kinds of weird stuff, and some of them aren't gonna be good because of it." But there's a lot of gems in that series.
All right, hold up.
Jump in here real quick. We'll do one before we go.
I was grinding skill books and magic tomes. My bad.
I've been re-rolling.
Hang on. Yes, actually, you know what? That is a good point. Real quick, we'll create a new lobby in a second.
Okay.
No, I was just joining.
Okay, so you bring up a very good point, Buddha. A lot of people have asked this because we have the 5-star enhanced now, especially with people upgrading new units, all this type of thing. Where is the best place to get skill books and magic tomes? Okay, and I'll answer this right now. This stage right here. Okay, we're gonna go to the White Laboratory, which is right here. You get this pretty early.
Very early. And
it is on the normal stage. It's called Laboratory Depths. This stage right here. This is going to contain 2 bosses. Well, one boss, one side boss. Yep. It's Lancevale and Lily. Why is this important? Well, in their drop tables, Lancevale is the only one in this map that drops skill books. Lily is the only one in the map that drops magic tomes. Well, that's it's Lily.
Sure?
It's Lily. Yes, 100%, 1000%. They're going to have, that's the only thing in their drop table. So what does that do for you? Normally on a normal drop, whenever they drop anything, it's going to be a 2% drop chance of a skill book or magic tome. But if you steal, you are guaranteed an item from their drop table, which is if you steal from Lanceville, you get a guaranteed skill book. If you steal from Lily, you have a guaranteed magic tome. So this stage right here, and it's very, very easy to complete, which I'm just going to bring, I think, my front. No, did I screw it up? I think I did. Nope, gotta keep going. So I have Age of Lily I was training, but we're going to bring her along. And essentially, I'm going to steal while using Beast Hunter 10. I'm going to get 1 magic book and 1 magic tome, pending their actual drops. Right, so I doubt I'm going to get an actual drop because it's 2%. But I'm going to get a guaranteed magic book or magic tome and skill book. So you run this once, you get 1 of each every time. So we're going to get Lanceville and Lily chilling. So we're going to use Beast Hunter. And because I'm using someone with a support with the UR arc, I'm literally just going to use that and kill them all. So I'm just going to do Beast Hunter. Cool. Great. Here's 2 items. See, look at that. 2 chests. And then we go like this. And then kill them. So,
and in a grand total of 0 seconds.
Yeah, right. So we Beast Hunter 10, stole their items, then we just killed them. It's incredible. So if you ever need magic books, especially magic tomes, which aren't really farmable by normal maps because we farm IGC3, which has a plethora of skill books that you'll get. But for magic tomes, especially since we need to do that for the 5-star units coming up, this is the best way to get them. It's guaranteed 1 every single map.
With that level 10 Beast Hunter.
With the level 10 Beast Hunter, but you can steal. Mm-hmm. You can run PTR, you can run Yashimaru.
Right.
Nuke their damage down a little bit so you don't kill them before you steal, but you know what I mean. Like, just, that's the best place to do it.
And I would just like to...
let me get in the lobby here. Let's finish it off with a little bang. How about that? All right? You in for it?
Like to publicly apologize for being so confident that was Eliza. I am so used to them being a pair.
I can't believe you questioned me, bro. I can't believe it.
Had 0 doubt in my mind. And I've actually never looked at her sprite.
That's
I just knew there was someone with him, and I was like, it has to be Eliza.
That's a post on our confidently wrong.
Oh, yes. All right, hold on. I'm so sorry.
Hey, if you guys are like,
this...
During this, if you guys want to just like record this or a screenshot whenever we have the special scenario.
Oh, I see that.
For the memes? For the memes? Yes, you can go do that. In fact, I probably should put this in landscape. What is this?
No, don't worry.
Don't do that.
Don't do that.
Don't worry.
Don't be that guy
break
in
everything.
Don't be that guy in multiplayer bringing
I don't have Gwar. It's okay.
So I will say we are doing this inefficiently per se because we are not using 4 people to get those extra rewards. So if you're running this only, you would be wanting to use 4 real players to get those extra multiplayer rewards. So don't follow this to a T, but you know what I mean. Yeah, we'll just kill the other stuff, kill the plants, and then we're on to the next one. On to the next one. You could be, Rethik, you could be that 4th, but I don't trust you.
I trust you, Rithik. We'll run some after this.
Yeah, we're probably going to run some too, just because it's nice, but I'm glad you guys can have a little blueprint. I'm kidding, Rithik. You're fine. We're just doing the podcast. It's okay.
Gotta say, out of all the people, he's definitely one of them that I would trust.
Yo, 100%. 100%.
Yeah.
That's the only reason.
At least he's not a rando.
The Forest was the first like OP person that I knew.
Yeah.
In the community, one of them. You guys had to feel me out first.
So we're doing skill stock 2 to drop his HP down as soon as we get a little closer. And you're getting murked right now. We're gonna go ahead and S3 so we break. So that's gonna break. Once he breaks his threshold, we'll S3 to drop him down even harder. Try to reach that break. I don't think we're gonna make it this time, but so I'm gonna run out of position so I don't get hit by that. But
I'm gonna deliberately stay in position and use an S3 right in time. Yes, let's go!
Nice.
And shit for that. It worked.
Dang it,
we gotta kill the other things too. This
I
one also
almost-
does not end unless you kill all the ads, which are pretty easy, so it's not a big deal.
I almost had that no death run.
You'll get one.
I know.
We'll
It
get one
is
at some point.
quite RNG based, but if you
Right.
if you do use a little blind strat, it's a lot easier.
Mm-hmm.
Hey,
This one
we got a waffle.
we're essentially expecting one person to die, and then everyone else just nuke while that person's dead. So, oh, we got 2. There we go.
Nice.
We got an additional waffle.
An additional waffle for the Room Master bonus.
Very
Very
cool.
nice.
Room Master
Well-
bonus actually OP, by the way. So, like, if people are thinking about farming and you're like, oh, I don't want to do multiplayer, just go to the Discord. There's always a bunch of people like hungry for codes, especially if you're hosting.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
you know,
Yes.
drop by, talk to the homies.
Room
They will
Master, if you're hosting as well, I think it should be said, yes, you do get an extra drop from the Room Master, but your drops are also better
Mm-hmm.
when you're hosting. I think it's been confirmed by many of us who've spent a lot of orbs hosting, as opposed to people like, especially me. I remember joining lobbies all over the place. Yeah, hosting is the way to go. I wouldn't suggest using crystals on it, but if you have the orb refreshes and you want to get good rewards consistently, or more consistently than joining lobbies, while that is free, it's a little bit less worth your time. So definitely host as many lobbies as you can to get those rewards.
Efficiency.
Cool.
Efficiency, amazing.
All
For a
right.
grind game, yes, you'll need it.
Cool, guys. All right. Is there anything else I'm forgetting about? Because I can't believe I forgot about the God Forge.
I mean, this is free every day. If you're God forging, make sure you do this 3 times a day. It's 0 cost. I think it's like 40k blue and like 8k red, which is, I mean, a nice little boost.
More
think
than
it's-
none.
Yeah, it's a good amount. Very good for new players.
Yet another thing. Which is very
Yet
good for new
another
players.
thing. So it is a great time to be playing LC, whether you're new player, mid player, or end game. Plenty of things to do, and I think we're
Lots to look forward
very
to.
excited if you couldn't tell. So I guess we'll see you guys in multiplayer. And with all that being said, y'all know what we say. Work hard, play harder. See you in the next podcast.